So, you know, being back in the streets of East London with the Springbok really means a lot.
And as an Eastern Cape born, particularly East London, maybe any innovation, campaigns or projects that you want to begin to inspire young rugby players around here?
In terms of that, I think us doing what you're doing, we're already inspiring a lot of kids. We were inspired by the guys before us. I think we've already done programs that brought attention to the future rugby of border rugby or kids who are not privileged. I think we've done, and we're still, you know, looking forward on spreading the awareness for that. So yeah, that's looking good.
Are you happy with the love and support from the public? What's your take on it? What's your message for the public?
I think the support and the love from the public is there. We feel it. We felt it when we were away. Obviously through social media, through the videos, we've seen it, and it's experiencing it now, seeing it live. It's very special.
The next 4 years will also be crucial, Lukhanyo, in terms of your own sort of, future. Play for the Sharks, you've captained the Sharks. Do you harbor any ambitions of playing overseas between now and the next World Cup?
At the moment, I think World Cup to World Cup, it's a big gap, and what you strive for as athletes is just continuously improving and staying competitive, staying relevant, trying to perform week in, week out. So if opportunities come, we don't know. There's a lot of things that influence reasons like that to think of going abroad or staying local. I think we are playing in on an international, tournament, which is the URC Challenge Cup, Heineken Cup. So it just differs from individual to individual.
Thank you, guys. Can we wrap it up and bring Jen in yet?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, you can come this side.
Are they actually taking this?
All right, SA Rugby hosting a media briefing at the Garden Court Hotel out in East London. Of course, as we have seen just before the Springboks embark on their tour. We'll keep you abreast with all that's happening out in East London. We take you back.
Excited to be in the Eastern Cape. Can't wait to see the people outside. Just really excited, yeah.
Jayden, welcome home. A lot of people might not know that you're from Breitbach, but does it bring you fond memories coming back here, just on your earlier days as a rugby player? Where did you play, and how would you compare, provincial rugby here as opposed to the Sharks where you've also played?
Yeah, no, it's always nice to come home. It's always nice to see the people. I don't get that chance often because I normally come 4 times a year home. So when I do come home, I do take the opportunity to see a lot of people, family. So yeah, to the people from East London, they came out in numbers yesterday, especially the young kids. So, yeah.
Infrastructure has been a problem, especially for the local towns here, the townships in terms of facilities where they can play their trade, so that they can be able to become Springboks in future Springboks. What do you think needs to be done to ensure that at the grassroots level enough investment is made, especially when it comes to infrastructure and facilities?
Yeah, like also, it's not only in rugby. It's in netball, it's in soccer, it's in everything in the Eastern Cape. For me, it's just basically the communities need to take care also. They can also help the people to look after the things. So yeah, it's basically community, and then the players that playing, basically also to look after it, because it's basically how much you care for what you do. So.
And to those young players, what would you say to them? What's your message to them, especially those aspiring to be in the Springboks and playing in international level?
first and foremost, you need to enjoy what you do, and second of all, dreams do come true. So, yeah.
The last 3 games in the World Cup were never, I think, extremely tight. What do you make of those games? Do you think there was lapse somewhere? What do you make of that performance? I mean, we escaped by 1 point for each of the teams.
Basically, at the end of the day, it's basically, they're not going to say by 1 point. They're going to say who won and who lost. So we won it, so yeah, that's my answer to you.
You were one of 4 scrum-offs at the World Cup, and I'm sure you wanted more game opportunity. What are your future plans going forward? Of course, the next World Cup is 4 years' time.
I can't think that far ahead. I first need to think now, because anything might happen. I might get an injury. Like I told my friend also, anything can happen to you. So it's basically taking it season by season, and then always focusing to get better as a person and as a rugby player.
Obviously wrapping up the trophy tour to this London, just take us through the entire experience, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban. How's it been for you?
Yo, it's been unreal, young. The people come out in numbers, support us. I can't explain it that much. It was my first time also. It's just unreal, yeah.
Just last question to me. I'm sure you have a special message for the kids. A lot of children look up to players like yourself, person who comes from humble beginnings and has played for the Springboks. What will your message be today? They'll be flocking the streets of East London.
I'm just saying, like, I was 4 years ago, I was also sitting in Durban, watching them while they were lifting the trophy. 4 years later, I am basically with them now. So for me, it's just, like I said to them also, it's just dream, but when you dream, you must work hard. So for them, it's just basically dream and then just must work hard.
What do you think we should do as the Eastern Cape province to produce more guys like yourself?
I think you need discipline. You need discipline, you need dedication, you need hard work, and you need to sacrifice. It's a lot of hours you need to put in to become a Springbok. So, thank you.
All right, we heard from 2 Springbok players, Lukhanyo and Jaden Hendricks. Both hail from the Eastern Cape. Jaden Hendricks having grown up in Breibach, just outside of King Williamstown or Ekonge. Lukhanyo also hail from Ekonge. Talking about their own experiences, of course, Lukhanyo being a Springbok player, many consider as among the best centres in the world. Unfortunately, leading up to the Rugby World Cup, he was out injured and was a late replacement to the team. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get an opportunity to play, but the most important thing, of course, is that the Springboks won the World Cup, and that has been one of the main things that South Africans were looking forward to. Rassie Erasmus will tell you himself and Jacques Ninaba that this is not a team that is based on individuals, but rather a team that plays together. So even when during the World Cup where we saw the likes of Magazole Mambimbi and Malcolm Marx, they joined the team to watch them at the Rugby World Cup final, and this is the sort of unity and togetherness that the Springboks have in and amongst themselves. Of course, much of the focus now will be on the next 4 years, 4 years where the team will, of course, be playing other internationals in between, players going back to club rugby, others playing in the provincial setup. And it is a very important 4 years to monitor where the South Africans will be going in terms of their national team. And of course, we will be without Jacques Ninaba. He will be coaching overseas, but there is expectation perhaps that later, just before the World Cup returns 4 years' time, that perhaps Jacques Ninaba might rejoin the Springboks. But that's where we leave it in terms of today's press conference.
Well, thank you very much, Ronald. An important question, of course, that Ronald Masinda there out in East London asked to Lukhanyo. What now for you as a Springbok 2-time World Cup winning champion, especially because you are still plying your trade locally with the Sharks. You're one of the leaders of the Sharks. And he says, World Cup to World Cup, a lot happens in that 4-year gap. We are, as the Sharks, playing international competitions, so anything can happen. I could move abroad, but it's not to say that I'm not playing against teams abroad. And, of course, Jaden Hendricks, who played a very little part in the World Cup, but still does boast that World Cup medal, saying that, of course, it is absolutely amazing to be bringing this medal and this Webb Ellis trophy back home in the Eastern Cape, to show it to the boys and girls young that you can too be a Jaden Hendricks, a Lucanio a Sia Kolisi, a Magazule Mapimpi, a Cheslin Colby, that there is representation for you in the Springbok team. We are essentially the epitome of dreams coming true. Thank you very much. Of course, Ronald, we'll be touching base still as we bring you that rolling coverage of the Trophy Tour. That was just a press conference that is leading up to the Trophy Tour, and it's great news for you in East London. Your captain, Sia Kolisi, is there to be hoisting that trophy in front of you and showing you what it is, of course, that he and his team under the tutelage of Rassi Rasmus and Jacques Ninaber have done out in France.